have Benji, right?
Hello.
Hi, I am Eleni.
Hi, pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So Benji from Osprey Games is going to talk to us about Undaunted Stalingrad. I have to tell you that I'm a huge Undaunted fan.
Thank you.
I love, I have North Africa, have Normandy, reinforcements, and I'm really looking forward to this one, which is not going to be released yet. I mean, it's not here at Essen, so you guys, there's no FOMO here because it will be released when?
Well, I've got a little bit of FOMO for Essen people. We're demoing it here.
They're demoing
So people
it.
are getting hands-on with it here at Essen.
That's true.
But it's being released on Thanksgiving, so November 24th.
Oh, cool.
So
Okay.
soon.
Soon, very soon. Alright, so, I've heard that this is sort of a campaign thing.
Yep.
What should people who love Undaunted know about Stalingrad? Like, what's new, what's exciting about this one?
So we have a lot of new stuff. The big exciting thing that we want everybody to know is that Undaunted Stalingrad is taking the Undaunted system, flexibility of the Undaunted system that everyone knows and loves, and it really fleshes out all of the campaign elements. So this version is a replayable legacy game. So it's a campaign that has much more story. It's got branching narratives. So every scenario that you play, when you finish, the victor will change which scenario you play next. So you'll read different story. We have over 150 different story elements from author Robbie McNiven. You'll read different story about characters who are in the game and on the cards. That story will then lead you to new scenarios. There are 35 scenarios in the box. So we have almost 3 times the content of our normal Undaunted game, so it's very heavy, a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it looks like it's
But
a big
the
one.
campaign itself plays 12 to 15 scenarios all tied together. So that's your campaign. When you've played those 12 to 15, you can then finish the game, rebox everything, and you can play again, and your story will be completely different. You can switch sides,
Right.
completely resettable.
Right.
And as I said, there's 35 in the box, so you'll see a fraction of it, and there's a lot to explore.
So the stories that take place, are they related to the actual historical events?
Exactly.
But they're shuffled in the order that they happened?
Exactly. So the actual game itself covers the Battle of Stalingrad across the city. Our designer, David Thompson, has a very deep knowledge of military history. He really knows his stuff. We've balanced the military history aspect so that we're staying true to some aspects of the actual conflict itself, but also we have enough abstraction so that it's still engaging and fun for people. So tiles like this building, for example, this was an actual building from Stalingrad, and on the back we have a little bit of story from the actual building and about it itself.
Okay.
So we're trying to add more flavor than we've ever added before. The same thing then gets applied to these soldiers. So the soldiers all have names and you get attached to them as you go through the campaigns.
Well, they did have names in the previous games as well.
The difference here is that these soldiers have names, but when they get removed from the game and they're lost, they will be replaced by reinforcements who you do not know their names.
So,
The
okay.
reinforcements are from places we don't know. They are not as good, they're not as well trained as the soldiers that you know. So you get more attached to these people as you see them over the course of your campaign. They can get promoted now.
I love that, actually.
So we have like these little characters that have stars on here. These are the upgraded cards. So after each scenario, you'll have some soldiers that will be upgraded. And these soldiers will get new abilities. They'll learn new skills, maybe get new weapons. So a rifleman might get a scope and be able to shoot further.
Wow.
They might get grenades or other new weapons. I'm not spoiling all the weapons. Or a scout, for example, might progress through the ranks and be able to control like a commander does.
Okay. So I see some of the same sort of, like I've seen engineers, machine gunners, snipers, and I guess snipers play a big role.
Snipers play a huge role. If anybody's seen Enemy at the Gates,
Yes.
this is exactly that conflict that we're playing through.
Yeah.
And the snipers really are the backbone of these in terms of telling the key story points. They are the most powerful cards in the game. Their attacks are overpowered compared to everybody else. They are really important.
Bigger than one?
Some of them will have they'll be rolling 4 dice, which is huge. These guys can shoot all the way across a battlefield, because if you're rolling 4 dice, you don't care if you need to roll 10s, because you're rolling 4 of them.
Right.
In my personal campaign at home, I'm playing with some of the guys from work. In our campaign, I actually lost one of my snipers immediately when I got them. So of my 3 sniper cards, I now only have 2. So for the rest of my campaign, I'm now fighting with fewer snipers. So the narrative itself is kind of emergent in the gameplay. I now have a vendetta against who killed that sniper, because I also remember my snipers who keep missing with every shot, because the fact that they missed those shots meant that I lost that scenario. And that then kind of affects not just the game itself, but the ongoing campaign.
Right. Wow, that's amazing. Are there any vehicles
Yep. So we're not spoiling exactly what's here, but I know some people have been looking on Board Game Geek, where we've got some art and photography up. So people have been guessing. I can say that there are tanks. If people know the conflict, then they'll know a little bit more about it. Vehicles were a big part of Stalingrad. We have tiles that vehicles cannot move through because they're too densely populated. But we also have the engineers who are able to lay mines now. We have mines that can lock out certain tiles, and they can use anti-tank mines and protect those areas from vehicles coming through.
Right, okay. And is the length of each game different than the previous games? As in, is it longer? Is it shorter? Is the difficulty different? I don't know.
I think players who have played Normandy in North Africa, they can definitely expect that exact same feel. Okay. Games will take anywhere between sort of 45 minutes if you play very quickly, and often if you win very quickly.
Yeah, it depends.
But it depends. Some of them are a bit longer. In particular, at the end, this campaign has much more of a narrative, so you can expect that there's a huge crescendo that I won't spoil, but it's a much bigger battle that we're playing through. So there's much more of a story feel to it, and that reflects in the actual gameplay itself. So more of the same, but it's going to be a lot more engaging for players.
Right. There's a question from chat. Oh, there's no questions, just a remark that they're saying ambush vibes. Waiting for this one on my winter table.
Yeah, we're hoping.
Me too, actually.
It's great that we've got just in time for Christmas. So I know a lot of people are going to have some time off for the holidays. We're anticipating that people will be playing through these in the holidays altogether.
So this will be released. Thanksgiving, you said. Is there anything else, any more surprises to expect from the stuff?
So we have a lot of stuff in the box that I'm trying to keep. We have some tokens that I've not explained anywhere yet. So there is some cool stuff that we're keeping. Importantly, we have destruction of buildings in this that I don't think I've mentioned. So now buildings can be reinforced, so some of them can have higher defense values on the locations if you control them. Other buildings can be completely demolished, and those tiles have variant tiles. So there are up to 3 variants of a single tile for some buildings, showing the different levels of destruction. And again, those persist through the campaign. So we're hoping that the box organizer here will be a great way to track your game. We've obviously got plenty of surprises in our lock decks, as you can expect with any kind of branching narrative game. We've got content that gets hidden until you find it in the story. Characters get upgraded with these codes here on the side. So it means you can hide the rest as surprises. So I'm trying to not show off too many of them to the people here. But the decks are enormous. There's a lot of content in the game. And it gets all tracked through this. So when people replay, they move their cards through the boxes as they replay.
So just briefly, we're not going to show any details. But this is...
But you have sections.
What the box looks like inside.
You have sections for when characters get removed from the game. You go into a section. When you unlock new stuff, it goes into yours that's used for your supply. And importantly, when you finish playing, the resettle nature means you can just reset the box and you're good to go again.
And I suppose there's no solo for this.
There's not. We've been hearing a lot of people asking for it. We definitely hear the fans. We know how important solo is. People were really so excited for reinforcement solo stuff. The solo itself just wasn't possible for Stalingrad. because we wanted to have this emergent story, the decisions are so impactful. Any meaningful decision made by an AI just wouldn't have felt the same for a campaign that's as long and engaging as this.
Right, and the 4-player version, like in reinforcements, will this be possibly available?
So we don't currently have any plans for 4-player with it, specifically because we wanted to reflect the two sides.
Yeah.
However, we have been playing some 4-player ourselves, effectively playing with 2 players playing as one side. I know a lot of people have been playing normally that way until reinforcements came out. So it's something we're looking at. It's obviously a big feature of reinforcements, and we're kind of looking to see if people are thirsty for more 4-player stuff.
Right. Well, I'm really looking forward to this.
Great, thank you.
Being on my table. I love Undaunted, and I hope people should, they should check it out when it comes out. Very wintry game. It's one of my, the games I've played the most the last year.
Okay.
So I'm very excited about this, and thank you so much for showing this to us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And enjoy the fair. Good luck with everything.
We certainly will do.
And thank you so much, Benji.
You're welcome.